bushwhack here. Stay with me, Zach.
I'm coming back for you, Sack!
I don't know what to say, I'm speechless. Looks like we got some morning visitors here. Well, we had a couple early morning visitors there. 3 caribou. One took off the other way, but the other 2 went straight ahead, just in the little city outside of camp. So pretty cool, pretty cool. I didn't even see him out there. I was down getting the morning fire going, and then all of a sudden Saku runs up. Jeez, caribou right there in the river. It's enough to freeze you here this morning. Looks like winter's coming back for round 2. I think we're supposed to get some snow later today, but it's yet to be seen. Waterproofed in the bag there, I had a bit of dryer lint and some birch bark mixed together. It was a damp morning, and I decided to use a little help to start this day off on the right foot. Really got to nurse the fire through this morning where things are kind of damp, but it's looking like it's going to catch there now. So today we have to make a decision. I want to push on. It is calling for a bit of snow. More importantly, high winds. Now we got around 2.5 kilometers to get down to Cold Spring Pond. I wanted to follow the brook out there, but after coming in yesterday and finding out there's 3 small holes in the bottom of the raft floor, I'm not taking the brook no more. I'm not sure what happened with the holes. It may just be we brought up solid on a couple rocks. I don't think I should have been going down some of the smaller brooks with so much weight in the raft. But that's all we can do. We'll survive. So we have to go down a barren area here. It's a walk for around 2.5 kilometers. Now I'm thinking I'm going to pack up and bring everything down there and then fix the raft once I get down there. Just as long as we get it fixed up, it doesn't matter when it's done. That way we can get down there, and if it's too windy, I'll set up camp there until the wind dies off. I don't typically like changing camps when weather's on the way, but to get a better look at Cold Spring Pond ahead, I thought it'd be nice to be on the shores. As for the raft, it had plenty of small holes, more than 3 even, and the cause was a bit of a mystery. So not only is fixing the raft important, making sure Saku's pack fits well is important too. Sak, come on, let's get up. Good boy. So this is a great little pack I picked up for him, and it needs to be tight fitting here on the bottom. Not too tight or it's restricting him, but just snug. It's loosened up a little bit throughout the trip. We've covered a lot of ground. That seems to be alright, Sak. Maybe you should tighten this one up a bit. Oh, wrong way. And now we're in business. Aren't we, Sak? Good boy. Well, Sak, looks like another casualty of the day. One's useless too. Today the wind had the lake whipped up into a fury. In spite of the incoming elements, we forged our way through them towards a new camp on Cold Spring Pond. Come on. Good boy. So we decided to make the beeline to Cold Spring Pond this morning. I'll fix the raft when I get there. I just want to be on the side of that pond when this wind dies and poor weather passes by. That's our route. We're around half a kilometer in, kilometer and a half to go. The river is down there. So I just want to take that rocky path. The raft has seen enough of that junk. So we made it down to the site here for this evening. It's just in off Cold Spring Pond, man. What a gust of wind out there. So we're in a decent spot. Might be good for some trout too, for supper later. The river that we were on further up comes out here. So it comes out over there, and then it leads into Cold Spring Pond, which is completely full of whitecaps out there now. But this is perfect. We'll launch off here tomorrow morning, and well, it won't be tomorrow because the winter's supposed to be worse. But 2 days time we'll launch off, and we should only be I'd say 2 days to get to Can River. So Sack likes it here, don't you, Sack? There's some ton of old sticks out in the water though. By the looks of it, they're all cut. They must have widened this place. As you can see, this was cut by man. And a lot of the ones out there, you can see the tops of them, is when they widened this, maybe it was a brook, because that's all it is up top, and they widened it to a river down here, so the water flow could be increased in the Cold Spring Pond, which is part of the hydro project. So again, this just shows we're a long, long ways away from places like Burnt Pond and Granite Lake, and the work they had to put in over a large area that's pretty impressive, no doubt. And this site's dandy too, because we're tucked away now from the big west-northwest wind that's coming this evening. So west would be about this way and northwest over here, but there's a nice hill just across the stream, so we'll be sitting pretty. I get tarp up now and tent that, and we'll have some fun for this afternoon. So it comes down like that for us now, but we're okay here tucked under the tarp. Not a worry in the world. Nothing warms you up like a pot of campfire chili, homemade by yours truly. Oh yeah, we'll call it storm chili. That's what we're gonna call it. It's delicious, man. Oh my. So I figured I'd wash down that deadly chili with a strong cup of Labrador tea that I picked only 5 meters away. Let that steep for 5 minutes. Any longer than that, and it'll be hard on the guts. Cheers. Although it was now mid-spring, the cold Newfoundland claw of wet and damp weather crept in for another kick at the can, digging its talons deep into the land around us. Oh, me and Sack just fished for half an hour or so, but that's not very nice out now. Holy jumps. And it's slippery too. We're just going back to camp now. Get by that fire under the tarp. Or probably in a tent in the bag. One or the other. We're cold, just back from that walk. tarp's almost coming down here. Right now, each gust it hits me on top of the head. Boom. Whew. It's probably the wettest and coldest I've been all trip. Considering what I've been through. You get pretty damp now going back and forth to get wood into the tent through the bushes. It's not good. I don't really want to leave the fire, to be honest with you right now. I know it's going to be nice once I get in the sleeping bag. It's the whole process of changing from this wet clothes into my dry stuff. Well, you know how it goes. Tomorrow though, I'm going to want a fire in the morning because I'm getting low on fuel in my isobutane, and it's just going to be great to warm me up because I think it's going to be a cool morning. It says it might go down in the minuses tonight with wind chill, but yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. It's all part of the experience. It's no big deal. Hey, Sack, we going to the tent and snuggling soon or what, bud? All right, Sack, let's go. Come on. Come on, let's go. Now, Sack, you're gonna get the place a little dampener, aren't you? Go on. Go back there, back there. That's good, right there. Oh, that's hard to avoid. I'm after giving that tent a knock a few times now, and snow keeps flying off it. Oh, alright, let's go, bud. Good boy. Oh, the place is soaked in here now. Lord Dons. I might have to tie the tent down a couple extra places because she's starting to warp every time, just like the tarp out there. Each gust. We'll be alright, bud. We'll be okay. There you go, bud. Whew. Yeah. Hey. You know, you remember times like this. I tell you that. You remember times like this when you get those nice warm days. This is not too bad. I got my kettle boiled there now. Nice hot cup of joe. And I'll be laughing for the evening. Sit back. Probably get sleep early if it's, you know, a good chance to rest up now. Because every time you get an opportunity to rest, you should take advantage. But we'll hang out what we say, do some reading, stuff like that. Whew. I haven't doubled up socks now in at least a couple weeks, or longer. But I think tonight's the night that I do it again. Oh, that makes all the difference. Toasty, warm socks. Hey. It'll turn you around in a second. Whew. Yep. It's the good life. And boy, am I ever glad that I kept this hoodie. I cut the joggers at Burgeo, but I kept the hoodie. This has been with me ever since the West Coast. I'll probably cut it off to this now though once I get to Cotton River. Whew, top is done. The only thing left to do is get in the sleeping bag and tuck in for the night. Alright folks, that's all she wrote. That's one tired boy. And we're still on the side of Cold Spring Pond. and it's still pretty windy and damp out there. It looks like we won't be getting across today in the raft. Too risky. So we're wind bounded for at least today, maybe even tomorrow. They look to persist, so we'll see what happens.
I came through the valley, I go through the woods, 'cause I know when I find my honey, it's gonna make me feel good. I love everything, so don't you make me feel sad, 'cause I'll drink to you, my baby, I'll drink to that.
So what I got there is just a bundle of thin stuff, sticks and boughs that are all dead. A couple green ones in there to get it all going, but that's for now because we're out of fuel and everything's kind of damp. I just got the fire going there. I had some dry stuff in the tent last night, but for supper now we'll need to get a fire going again, and I want to have something there just in case it goes out. I may let it go on all evening, but even tomorrow morning. Now that will sit by the fire and it'll be nice and dry. Hey Saku, we'll have dry wood for starting fires until we leave tomorrow. I still haven't went at the raft yet, so it's just a bit too wet out, and even under the tarp here now, I wouldn't want a flanker or an ember to come from the fire and cause another hole. And the tent's just a little too tight, so once this wet stuff buggers off, I'll give it a quick fix with some tape and make some more permanent adjustments when I get to Can River.
With 60 kilometers to go to Can River, I'm looking at 3 meals of sidekicks and tuna, a pack of chili in the top right, 2 Cliff Bars, and 4 packs of oatmeal and some loose oatmeal. And there's a few flavor crystals in there in the middle. I haven't been using those too much. Sack out there got 4.5 days of kibble, and there's a bit of jerky there as well. We're scraping, but we'll get there. So hopefully hook a few trout now too over the next day or two. But I think 2 good travel days will pretty much be there. You got some kibble left, and you get some jerky for treats. Ho ho! That sparked them. Sack loves the trout, don't you, Sack? Fuel's gone now too. So for the next 3 to 4 days, we eat by fire. Fire's better anyways, keeps you warm. Doesn't it, Sack? I kind of like it when you get down to the nitty-gritty. We're, you know, lacking on food, no fuel, and hey, makes you appreciate what you got at home. Boots are wet, sneakers are wet, pants is wet, coat is wet, everything's wet. What the heck? You can only laugh. Well, you know, what else do you do? You can't flip out or nothing. So that's the fun of it. Out here in the old bush. Like, it don't matter. You could be vacuum sealed out here and you're still going to get wet. Between the dampness and the wind, rain, snow, it seeps through every little nook and cranny in your clothing. So that's it. We'll be dry when we're dry. Actually looks like the sun's breaking out a bit now, so between that and the wind, we get a good fire going, it won't be long. We'll be back to normal. Trying to get a drop of radio out here. Can't even get that. I'm keeping the bears away now.
Sack, look at this. That's a beaut, Sack. 3 pounds. What do you think, bud? Yes. I had a few bites before that one, so I knew there was something out there, but I didn't think it'd be that big. Number two! Boys got number 2! Man, those fish were important. I'm glad I decided to come out in this fine May weather. I'll go a long way. Now my buddy, that's gonna hit the spot. That's a nice one out there. We want to be out in that raft right now. Guarantee you that. So day number 3 now of the whitecaps out on Cold Spring Pond, and you know, it's funny, hey? Mother Nature does things at her own will. A couple weeks back, we were hoping and praying for wind, and we wanted to break the ice up on the ponds. Buddy, it was hard to come by a gust of it. And now, we're in the raft, we don't want the wind. Barely hasn't stopped. Besides the day we crossed Mealpeg and the following day, it's been, well, you can see it now. So that's a double no in the raft going out there. Alright, so today the sun's finally broke out. It's still really windy, but with this wind and sun, I think it's going to give me a good opportunity to try to give the raft a more permanent fix. So I'm going to use a combination of glue and tape and see how it works here. So it looks like, unfortunately, some of the holes were caused by the snowshoes. They were underneath my pack on the bottom of the raft, and when I went from one brook to the next, I forgot to take them out, and of course we rubbed up on a rock and that caused some extra abrasion. To fix the holes, I used the patch kit provided by Alpacka. I first cleaned the areas with rubbing alcohol, then I used their patch and go tape. Once the patch was secured, I sealed the edges with some Aquaseal glue. Well, that's it for that. Looks like it's a decent job. The glue takes 6 to 8 hours to dry, so we'll find out tomorrow how good it works. Round 1 to the river today draws no fish. Just came back now for a cup of tea. Lay back, and we'll go back before sunset to try again. In the evening, the conditions finally began to turn in our favor, and tomorrow looked like it was going to be a doozy. We're back to the river here for round 2, trying to hook a trout. Come on. Wow, I just lost a monster. no word of a lie, 6-7 pounds. Oh my god. Let's see if I can get him again. We only managed one fish, so I gave that one a Saku. Lost the big one, rotted. So I made up some bannock for myself. Man, the bannock looks good. Just a loaf of bread. First bit of bread I had in about 2 weeks.
We're off to an early start this morning to get to Can River. We're both hungry to get on the move, and this day is large. Can you see that? May 23rd here on the rock, and I'm just shaking off some frost on the tent tarp. Important to do this anyways. When I get to the next camp, it's going to be damp, but it won't be as damp if I can get some of this ice off it this morning. It looks like the leak situation is solved for now.
I can't leave without getting a flick in up at the river. My number one rule on this trip, as much as I want to get to Can River, was not to rush and to enjoy it. And as I started paddling out this little inlet, I said, you know what? What's the rush? I'm going to go back and have a few casts. So let's see if we can get any morning bites. Maybe some supper for tonight, Zach? What do you think, bud? Let's give it a go here. I gave it 20 minutes at the river. No luck, so I'm just going to troll along now as I make my way up the side of the pond and then across it. Here's hoping. Cross your fingers for me. Shouldn't be no problem to get a bit of solar energy today. I'd say we'll be on full charge by the time we get to camp. Hey, Sack, what do you think, bud? Well, I'm glad I waited for today to cross. Much better conditions to try out a freshly patched raft. There's no doubt there. Much preferred over crossing yesterday when the waves were 2 or 3 feet high. Man, I had freaking nightmares last night over that trout though. Definitely 5 or 6 pounds. Just a monster. Looking back at it, I was thinking when an ish, it was hard to tell, but it very well could have been a brook trout too. Just a whopper. Anyways, you win some, you lose some. Break time here. Like a 2-minute no paddle. We're now in the Cold Spring Pond Canal, and it took us an hour and a half to get here, 7 kilometers, so I'm pleased with that. Looks like we'll get a bit of a break going down the canal here. There's some current carrying us. I think I had to get out just before the end of it because there's a generating station, and we wouldn't want to go into one of those now, wouldn't we, Sack Bud? Wouldn't want to do that. The leaks seem good, no trouble there, and that's what we get out for. So we got a short, about 1 kilometer walk to get to Godlich Pond. And we're back in motion. Come on, Sack. Let's go. Okay, turn. You know the routine, bud. You know the routine. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. Yeah, there you go. Put your butt in there. Good boy. Good boy, Sack. Some good boy, isn't he? Good boy. So run home stretch here, Sack Bud. Let's enjoy it, man. So we're about to head down the West Salmon River. Things might get a little rough. Hold on, buddy. Stay there. We're about to hit the last raft of the Salmon Arm River here. First 2 have been good. After scouting a line from the woods, we were back on the water as I took aim at our desired path. With the current tugging hard, I dug in, but it was too late. The strong force of the river had pulled us far off track. Here we go, Sack. Let's do it, kid. I have a hard time watching this. It's not easy, and it's certainly not for show. But instead, it's to prove that the forces of nature are not to be messed with. Sack. I got Sack. I got washed around 200 yards down the pond after the river. We are so lucky. I don't even know how to start to describe how lucky we are. How lucky Saku is. If that Saku was gone, I screamed and bawled for him for 20 minutes straight, waiting for him to pop up out of the river. We got sucked in over there. I got washed way down the river into the pond, and then I made my way back as far as here. I couldn't get any closer than here, so I took the raft in this way and walked all the way around here, all the way around shore. That was after I seen Saku out here. I was here, I seen Saku went on the point, and then I came all the way around. I walked up and got him and came back. Oh man. Raft's okay. This is the gear that's left. Missing shotgun. I got my solar charger, but the power bank's gone. My coat, compass. That's about it. Amazing that's all that's gone. Absolutely amazing. It was just a huge white wave, like 5 feet high, of white water, and it just sucked us in. So I've decided that I can't stick around this place. We can't make camp here. Those rapids over there will be haunting me every minute.
However you want to interpret it, there are valuable lessons to be learned here. None of us are invincible, and we all must play by the rules. If we take risks, which we should, we will eventually make mistakes. And from those mistakes, we become more proficient humans. Sometimes we learn the easy way, while other times, it can be very difficult.
Sack. We're thanking all our lucky stars tonight, bud. Con River is that way. This is the scene here now. It's dry out time. Most things are damp. Nothing substantial. Sleeping bag is just a little damp down by the feet. I'll be okay there. Some of my sleeping gear is damp, but it should be dry by bedtime. And the main thing is Saku is good. God love him. So we pushed on 15 kilometers after today, so I didn't want to. I was cold, tired, shaken, stirred, you name it. But, you know, with food dwindling, so I pushed to get here, and we had a good sight, and we're now only around 35 kilometers away, so a big day tomorrow should do it. So today was a near miss for me and Saku. Just so happy to still have Saku here. You know, his life was on the line even more than mine. You know, I'm probably pushing the raft too hard with too much weight. I got overconfident, I think. So we learned a valuable lesson today. Take our time. Can't push it like we do all the time. So tomorrow we regroup and we push on to Con River. It's the only thing to do. This morning we start with a bit of a bushwhack here. We got 3 kilometers to Jador Lake. This is the last big body of water we got to paddle before Con River. It's somewhere around 25-30 kilometers paddling. So it's a big bounce back day here. Forgetting about yesterday. Boys have regrouped, recharged. It's the only thing you can do out here. You can't dwell. You can't dwell on the past. It'll just drag you down. Looks like we're finally breaking free here into a bit of barren marsh area. That'll be better going. Jador Lake is a big one. Hey Seth, let's finish this off, bud.
After watching 2 black bear argue over a meal for several minutes, as you can see, one took off up the hill to the top left.
It looks as if they got into an old black bear. They were down eating, so I had to take a spin over and see what was up. Nope, it actually looks to be like a moose. That's what it is. Sack, what do you think? You want to get out of here, don't you? Let them hear it. Okay, Sack, let's get out of here, hey? I think so too. There's a speedboater over there on Jador Lake. He zoomed by once. I can hear him coming again. So there's a bit of action now, back into civilization. So right now, one of the losses of our capsize was the power bank that goes with the solar charger. So that means I would have the power bank in here, which was awkward anyways because there was always a risk of it falling out because this solar charger obviously during the daytime has to be exposed to the sun. But now with the power bank on, I gotta charge my GPS and camera batteries and everything during the day and tuck them in here. You know, it's risky for losing things, so that's how we roll now. So now we're about 17-18 kilometers from St. Albans. It's pushing 4:30. We're a little over halfway. Not sure if we'll make it today. We're gonna try. We're back in the real world, Sack. That's it for the hydro system. We're packed up now and ready to head to St. Albans, hitting the dirt road.
With the day's light fading, we had spotted our first community in nearly 40 days, St. Albans. From here, we would have to cross over the ocean bay to reach Conn River.
It's another checkpoint, pretty much just across that little bay there is Conn River, and that's where we'll go tomorrow. So we're just trying to get into St. Albans, just maybe 4 kilometers left, and we can refuel. Another stage completed. Me and Sack are almost there, aren't we, Sack? Aqua seal, and